starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. And for the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, the biggest swing of the season to date belongs to Laura Mueller in extra innings, the walk-off RBI single to knock out UCLA in a game that took over 3 hours. And they survived and advanced yesterday. They're going to need to win twice to try and do that today. Against a surprise starter for the Longhorns, it's Mac Morgan. 3 appearances in her World Series career. This will be her 3rd start, and those are her numbers on the season. It's her first time in the circle to open up a game this year in Oklahoma City, and Tegan Cavan will start out as a spectator for the Longhorns.
Well, notable in Morgan's line, just 35 strikeouts on the year. She's pitched to contact. She uses that defense behind her to get those ground ball outs.
Last check, it was about 96% drop balls on their resume for Mike White. Last few years, they have had tremendous success at the World Series with a deep pitching staff. He will turn to that group again today, knowing that they might have to play twice. Gabby Leach in that batter's box for Tennessee. And a slow roller right back to Morgan. 1 down.
Expect a lot of that ground balls. You get that drop ball, and this is where Texas's defense is going to be massive. They've struggled at times. They've switched around the shortstop position, second base, returning to that just a week ago. But with the ground balls, they are going to need their defense to be perfect behind Mac Morgan.
That's because Friday night against Florida, the Gators did not start their ace against Tennessee, and the Lady Vols dropped a 7 spot on them in the first inning. And they actually were able to pull Carlin Pickens for more rest. And here's Taylor Pannell. All-American, enjoying one of the best seasons in Tennessee history at the plate.
Well, I think, ladies, anybody who punches their ticket to the Champ Series, they know it's going to be very hard to throw one pitcher every single game. You've got to be able to have your number 2 and 3 available.
Fouls off the 2-0. So there you see 11 runs in first innings of their 3 games here. The rest of the field only has 6. So they have been outstanding, jumping in front of the opponent. Had a run rule against the Gators. They lost Thursday in a walk-off to Oklahoma, and then yesterday needed 9 innings to eliminate UCLA as Carlin Pickens waits her turn. The 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year. And a strikeout for Mac Morgan, 2 down.
Well, and it is on said drop ball that she throws very, very well on the corner. A lot of deep bite on this pitch. When I say deep, toward the back half of that strike zone, and you can see the way it just falls off the table on the outer half. Look at the shot from the cam. You can see that movement, that change in plane.
Well, it's crazy for hitters, Suze. You know what's coming. He's talking about 96% drop ball. So as a hitter, it's about trying to see it up, trying to get that pitch at a level. But even then, because it breaks so deep in the zone, you almost have to think 2 balls below it.
Well, and she runs about anywhere from 9 to 10 inches of vertical drop. And look at that, the percentage, 90% drop balls, just 4% curve balls.
Well, and that's why usually she's only in for maybe 3 or 4 innings, a couple times through the lineup.
Absolutely.
More than likely, we would see at least a second pitcher today. And that's ripped opposite field for Ella Dodge. Going to try for 2, and she'll dive in safely. And a runner in scoring position with 2 down for Sophia Nugent.
Well, they talked about Ella Dodge all season long. She got moved up into this 3-hole actually recently because of this. She is an absolute igniter. You guys, this is a single. Beautiful job staying inside out, getting this ball in the left field. But as soon as she is out of the box, she's thinking second base. This does not get to the wall. There's no reason this should be a double, but she makes it a double.
They have been terrific this tournament, hitting the opposite way, whether it's the righties or the lefties.
Well, really, since they saw Jordy Ball from Nebraska at Supers, this team offensive team has been reunited for Tennessee.
Well, they are hitting better than 300 in the World Series with runners in scoring position and with 2 outs. for Karen Weekly's side in their 9th trip to the World Series. 8th time to the semis.
Yeah, Beth, to your point, over 80% of their hits have been middle to opposite field, and that is impressive. Staying inside the ball, and especially here, the Women's College World Series, the off-speed reigns queen, but Tennessee has been able to adjust to that pitch because of it.
Wow, and that's a nice pitch. 10 inches of vertical break on that, 2 inches of horizontal, so it's breaking down but also sliding out a little bit.
Morgan's a senior. She's experienced, and she knows the responsibility of getting the start today, and she is embracing it. That one's fouled away.
She threw a gem last year against Florida.
Here at the series, yeah.
Here at the series. I mean, the importance of having a pitching staff to get through a juggernaut of usually 8 really good offensive teams is a must.
2-strike pitch. Got her. Strikeouts are rarity, but Morgan is fired up and firing it by him.
Mac Morgan, how about 9 inches of vertical break with 7 inches of horizontal run on this pitch? So Mac Morgan, it's a drop ball, but some run from out to over the plate induces the strikeout. 2 on the inning for Mac Morgan.
Texas softball sits on the 400 acres, not the 40, because Maloney, Henry, Scott, and Atwood, all 400 hitters at the top. And how about the power pack from Caden Henry? The home run in her last game for the Longhorns. Wins over Florida and Oklahoma. They beat the Sooners for the first time here at the World Series to advance. And now they get another date with Carlin Pickens, who has 2 wins against the Longhorns back in April.
Yeah, Pickens has been just so good in the circle, trying to limit those free passes. Those have haunted her a little bit here at the World Series.
The one issue she has had in the postseason is the home run ball.
Long ball.
As Maloney tries to go a little short game. She's hitting .484 in the NCAA tournament, has been on base nearly 50% of the time. Facing Carlin Pickens, who is 3-0 in elimination games this postseason. Has thrown 300 pitches through the first 3 games here at the World Series, and a bobble. And the first miscue of the day is Tennessee's.
This is massive. I mean, it's the speed of Maloney, first of all. That's why Laura Mueller's trying to rush. It just pops up off the heel of her glove, but it's the pressure that the speed at the top of this order will put on the defense. We talked about in the reverse for Texas. Tennessee has got to be able to make those plays and keep the speed of Texas off the bases.
That's just the 40th error of the year given up by this Tennessee team.
And here's Caden Henry, 2 for 6. You talk about a dual threat. She has a home run here and a steal of home here at the World Series. Most of the season, it's been the short game and the speed.
32 stolen bases. She does a good job of understanding situation, reading the defense. Obviously, with a runner on first, she'll stay all short, looking to bunt or slap.
Chops that to third, and the panel will make the play to first. Henry able to advance the runner.
Well, what makes Carlin Pickens so successful? Drop ball at 75 miles an hour. Look at the movement on that as well. How about the rise ball, top of the zone at 72, but it's this changeup at 63 miles an hour, over the top rotation. It's very tight, hard to identify. When Carlin Pickens throws that changeup in the low 60s, it's knee buckling, it's devastating. She's been a little elevated with the velocity here at the World Series, more like 66, 67. Those are the pitches that have gotten hit out of the park.
And look at in the 10 losses this season, the defense has not been there. 21 unearned runs, 7 errors. An error in this inning for Tennessee. Can Mia Scott make them pay, as Sophia Nugent took a shot on that one. Home plate umpire Marty Avazetian trying to buy her a little time. John Baca, Chad Steer, Susan Eads, the crew today.
Well, Mia Scott, look how far in the this is as far back in the batter's box. We talk about the velocity of Pickens. That's what Scott is trying to get to right now. That back heel, I mean, literally on that line, trying to buy her an extra second. Pickens has been sitting around 74, 75 miles an hour. That is faster than anything we'll see here at the Women's College World Series, equivalent to about 102, 103 as far as reaction time.
She's trying to get out of the back of that box. Well, she's been here before, over 250 games, 77 miles an hour.
That's her top pitch.
This is Mia's third World Series. Two from Pickens. Gets Scott to pop it up in foul territory. Nugent will give way as panel calls for it. 2 down. Good communication there for the Tennessee D.
Really.
I'm not sure Nugent saw it off the bat.
Yeah, and that's a tough play for Nugent. Just with all the catcher's gear on, throwing the helmet off.
Directly above her. So now it's Reese Atwood. The best slugger in Texas history is looking for her first hit of this World Series. 2-time All-American. Is already their RBI leader as a junior and rapidly approaching their career home run number.
This is power on power, power pitching with that velocity, and Reese Atwood, the power with the bat.
She leads the NCAA with 86 RBIs because she typically is so clutch in these situations.
Atwood thought that was inside, and now 0-2.
A little early on that changeup, coming in at 66 miles an hour.
Reese has reached. She had a walk in the win over Florida, and she does have an RBI, a sac fly in the win over Oklahoma. She came in tearing it up with the NCAA tournament. A shot down the line and foul.
Wow.
That had an exit velo like a Pickens fastball.
That was the drop in she took and did not like, but now with 2 strikes, she was able to get the barrel to that pitch. I think they're going to go back there.
Swing and a miss, and Pickens wins the first showdown with Reese Atwood. An error and a runner stranded. Scoreless through 1 at the Women's College World Series. Pickens goes up top.
Well, Tennessee was in the hot blazing sun yesterday in that 9-inning win against UCLA. So what was the recovery plan post-game? It started with a cold dip in the pool. This has been a Tennessee tradition for a while. When you win, you splash. They got into the pool, had a little fun, let off all the nerves of that 9-inning game. But then that was also followed by ice baths, massages, a lot of treatment. I talked to Karen Weekly, their head coach, about their pitcher, Carlin Pickens, and she said, I talked to Carlin last night. She said she's not physically tired at all, but there is some mental fatigue. Think about it. She has thrown over 300 pitches here at the Women's College World Series now, and having to be on every single moment, thinking about the batter. There is a mental fatigue with the pressure that comes from this appearance.
Yeah, it's a special kind of pitcher, right? An ace, Michelle, that can carry her team. We've seen a bunch of them now reemerge this season. Nigeri Kennedy comes to mind. We'll see her tonight, most likely, against Oklahoma.
You have to mentally, physically, emotionally be in the right mindset to win at this level.
Yeah.
And those pitches, they do tend to physically wear down on you, but it's the mental aspect, sitting in the dugout, just clearing your mind. You'll see a lot of pitchers doing that.
Here's Boo Gibson to lead things off. By the way, I'm going to give Amaya Doyle about an 8 on that cannonball. Pretty good technique, but she didn't get the full tuck of the knees. That gets you a little more of a splash.
A splash.
But solid. Gibson. Another slow roller right back to Mac Morgan. one down. It's 5, 6, and 7 here in the lineup.
Getting in on the hands. It's not just about the drop. Cindy talks about the vertical movement, but it's with the horizontal movement. I mean, she's also getting break into the hands of these righties, sawing them off early.
Here's Laura Mueller, the hero last night in extra innings for Tennessee. So let's talk about this mental bounce back. Huge win for both of these clubs. A lot of emotion. How do you come back from that and refocus real quick?
Well, it's always looking forward. I mean, you've got all that drainage that just went on from the last game, but you really just have to focus on next pitch coming.
And Mueller bounces one right back up the middle. Yeah, Holly already referenced the heat that Tennessee had to deal with. For Texas, finally the relief of getting a win over Oklahoma 2 nights ago. First time in their World Series history they've done that.
Being use that to fuel their confidence. And I'll tell you what, it's usually going to be advantage hitter. You talk about all the pitches pitched by the pitchers. How about the pitches seen by these hitters against all these All-American pitchers? Yes, you're going to see a good drop ball from Mac Morgan, but you're talking some of the best and rise balls and velocity and off speed and every single day. That is a hitter's dream. Might be a little bit tired, but the bats will not go tired.
Speaking of dreams, how about playing at the World Series with your twin sister? We've already seen Gabby at the plate. Here's Alana. 2 of the 4 Leach sisters to play for Tennessee. Oh, by the way, they're reaching for a little something special, wearing those Summit blue jerseys. Patricia Summit looking down, giving them a little extra mojo today. Slow roller to first. Morgan keeping things down, keeping them in the dirt. 2 out. And Mueller over into scoring position. So second inning in a row now, a chance for Tennessee. Here's Emma Clark, the designated player, freshman. And another one on the ground. Leanne Good swoops in to take care of that. Runner stranded. As we head to the bottom of the second, it's the big bopper. Jolie. Not once, not twice, 3 times in this Women's College World Series. Going to town. The fun, the joy, the drama around the Women's College World Series. 8 teams came to town, 4 still standing. Texas and Texas Tech needing to win once today. Tennessee and Oklahoma need to sweep doubleheaders. And then it is on to the finals. The Champ Series will start on Wednesday night. Some instant classics already to talk about. 4 walk-offs, the most in a quarter century. 4 one-run games. Extra innings that lasted almost 4 hours. And of the 5 SEC teams that came to Oklahoma City, 3 still playing today. We know 1, the winner of this showdown, will play for the national championship. It's been 10 years since Florida last took home an SEC title in 2015 when they went back-to-back.
Talk about reaction time, too, against Carlin Pickens. All the Texas hitters have been in the absolute back part of the box. Jolie Mitchell, as she's shown this entire postseason, is all the way in the front. You guys, I can't tell you, when it's 75-76, like, this is some bravery right here.
At this point, this is like hitting at 40 feet. Back in the day, ancient times when we used to play the game at 40 feet, it was literally defensive swings, just see the ball and just try to barrel it up. I mean, shortest swing ever.
It's worked for her. 3 home runs in a couple of games. The record for a World Series is 5.
Well, she says she likes to get to the ball before it breaks, and getting up in that box takes off definitely a lot of the movement that you're going to see.
Courtney Day, who you just saw there, she was on their 2022 team that made it to the finals as an unseeded team. First time in history that had happened. And now Mitchell goes from 0-2 to 3-2 against Pickens. And a ricochet off of Pickens and right to Laura Mueller. And they'll get the out. Holly Rowe?
Well, I was talking to Tennessee coach Karen Weekly before the game about Carlin Pickens today, and she said, you know, typically in 3-game series, she's her best on Sunday, on the 3rd day, and that was actually the case against Texas earlier this year. She got pulled after a few early innings Friday night, but then came back and pitched Saturday, Sunday, got wins, was at her best. We saw that in the Super Regional 2 against Nebraska. That's what she does, better when she's tired.
Well, Holly, it's because she's not throwing through her spins, and what we mean by that is that when you throw as hard as Carlin Pickens, you run out of real estate. So the ball, even though it's spinning at high velocity or high turnover rate, it runs out of that real estate to really be able to break. Just coming down a couple miles per hour gives that spin the opportunity to bite, to break, to move.
Stewart, glove by Miller, making up for the first inning miscue, and Laura's all over that, 2 down.
I love the defense behind Pickens, but I absolutely love the reacts that Carlin Pickens has right now for her defense, because it's going to take everyone. A great second play, by the way, for Laura Mueller, but watch Carlin Pickens. I mean, this is out number 2 here in the 2nd inning, and this is like the bottom of the 7th.
It's awesome.
And a base knock. Leanne Good, and yet again, it's a wrap to the opposite field. And a 2-out base runner in the first hit of the day for Texas.
Well, you talk about velocity off the pitching, now off the bat. All you do is have to get to this. Leanne Good literally inside outs this thing, 3/4 swing, and it blasts off the bat past the diving Ella Dodge.
Adea Wallace gets the start as a designated player today. Mike White has several different options at DP. He likes Wallace for her speed. Sophomore out of Plano, Texas. He also can go to Katie Simmons, or as he did in their opener here, started Wallace, and then Victoria Hunter came on when they needed a more powerful bat for the occasion. 8th trip to the World Series for Texas. It's also the 8th for Mike White. 3 with the Longhorns and 5 from his days with Oregon. Gotta respect, they keep coming back, keep knocking. Few, if any, have come closer without raising the trophy. And for Texas, they're 1 win away from a 3rd final in 4 years. One-two pitch. Wallace starts a stretch of 5 straight lefties, and then it's 4 straight righties in the Texas lineup today. Pickens misses down and away. And another swing and miss. Strikeout number 2 for Pickens.
We know Carlin Pickens, she's going to get the swing and miss. She's got a lot of mix of speeds, a great job, but how she gets up for her defense. She knows she's not going to be able to get to the finals tomorrow without them. Laura Mueller making some plays, but it's the reacts from her pitcher getting it done.
Beavers at Wendy's.
Getting all that calcium.
We are here at Devon Park. Beth Bowens, Michelle Smith with the calcium for you. Jessica Mendoza, Holly Rowe down on the dirt. Winner today is into the championship series. Texas needs to win once, Tennessee twice. Still to come later tonight, Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Our final 4. And there is A rope out to center. Kinsey Fiedler retired, 1 down, and here comes the top of the order. Mac Morgan, stellar thus far. A double in the first inning, no damage. A single in the second, no damage.
How about 29 pitches to get through the order? It's pretty remarkable.
Mike White couldn't have scripted it any better on a day where he knows he may need all his pitchers and may have to play 2 games. Keeping Tegan Cavan fresh.
Oh, off speed. You don't see that very often. It looks very similar to her drop ball. It still has that 10 inches of vertical break. It has a little bit of run on it, but it comes in at 61 miles an hour instead of 69, 70 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. Man, is her attitude off the charts and her rhythm right now, Michelle. Give me the ball, get me on the rubber, and let's go.
Hey, this is the most determined I have seen her all year. Look at the setup on this. So this is the changeup we talked about. Ability to mix speeds and have the pitches look the same. So 61 for the setup, 70 for the drop ball, for the strikeout. Mac Morgan, oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure 10% of her strikeouts on the year have been in 3 innings today.
Wow, that's good math.
I've never heard that before. There's a base hit out to left. And Tennessee strikes back. A 2-out base runner and a chance for the 3rd inning in a row.
Find the drop ball up. That's the goal for Tennessee right now, and that's exactly what the hot-hitting Taylor Panel continues to do. Her 7th hit already in this Women's College World Series.
Where'd that panel sheet go with? So panels aboard for Ella Dodge, and Mike White wants to come out to Mac Morgan. This is the 2nd time through the order now for Mac. We talked about how good they were in the 1st inning at the World Series. Well, it's actually really good through 3 innings at the World Series. And look at that, in their last 7 games, 20 runs near the top.
Aggressive, they go after good pitches. I'm sure that's part of the conversation that Mike White is having with his battery in the infield, is that Ella Dodge got herself in a good leverage 2-0 count, had that double.
What you got for us, Holly?
Well, guys, Mike White has told us before about Mac Morgan. Because she's primarily down, she's good 1 to 2 times through the lineup. So this is her 2nd time through the lineup. You can see he's being very careful, talking to her about what she's got to do. This is usually where she gets taken out because of so much drop ball. He knows she's only good for 1 to 2 times, or else they'll start adjusting.
Thank you, Holly. 3 strikeouts on the day. Her season high is 4. And I'm sure Mike wanted a word about the heart of the order here for Tennessee now coming up.
There you have it. The percentages, over 90% of the pitches she throws drop, 90% of the strikeouts she's going to get is on that pitch.
So what's the challenge when you keep seeing it over and over and over? You know it's coming.
You know it's coming, but you have to recognize that when it is at your knees or the bottom of the zone, you can't swing. There's no way that that pitch is going to stay there. It's going to end up the ball. And you have to do what Taylor Panel did. Find something waist height.
Well, yeah. So it's not that it's coming, it's where it's coming.
Where it's coming, you try to make her elevated, get into a good hitter's count, which is difficult because she's been working from ahead. And when a drop ball pitcher like this works from the head, now you have to make adjustments. I always really looked at trying to think about hitting my bat underneath the ball. I was a low ball striker as it was, but I would just make that adjustment even lower. And for a lot of hitters, your tendencies are you either hit the bottom of the ball, so you pop up more, you hit the top of the ball, you're more a ground ball hitter. So if you're a ground ball hitter going against a drop ball pitcher, you have to make a massive adjustment. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing pickle with the infield all day long.
Olympic hitters, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith breaking it down for you. There's the 1-2 from Mac. And Dodge fights one off.
Well, she saw it up. I mean, that's the thing. And that's where Morgan will kind of mess with you every now and then and throw in that curveball. So she'll get it to that height. And for these lefties right now, too, if she throws it, it'll come into their hands, but stay more level. And if they are looking to hit underneath it, they will have a hard time with that pitch.
Dodge does have home run power. She's shown it in the postseason. She had a double her first time up. The first extra base hit off of a Texas pitcher here at the World Series through their first 2+ games. Tegan Cavan following along with what the pitch call is. She's not checking out her emails. Different ways you can communicate with your pitcher and your defense. Some catchers will wear earplugs. You can talk. Others, it's on the watch. A flare out to left, and there's Katie Stewart. And Mac Morgan, solid through 3 for Texas in the circle. World Series, and the Sooners won it. So those are the 4 teams that have won a natty. Just 6% of teams that lost their opener have reached the championship series. So you're saying there's a chance on the Tennessee side, because they lost their opener, got walked off by Oklahoma, and an Ella Parker home run off of Carlin Pickens. And a short memory is necessary in that circle. In her last outing, Pickens gave up 3 home run balls. Stayed out there, finished the job, and back to work today against Katie Bennett, and then the top of the Texas order.
The key for Pickens really has been staying out of 3-ball count. She's had 24 of them here at the World Series. 10 have resulted in base on balls, 3 of them hits. So she's been able to win about 50% of them, but it's just so important for her to limit that.
That's a fair ball. I thought Panel was waiting to let that go foul and must have touched it inside the chalk line.
Well,
and Bennett's aboard.
Yeah, and this is a slow developing play. You've got to make a decision. You either, at this point, you know she's going to be safe. You either got to let it go or you got to field it. And at this point, she needs to let it touch on the foul side. I think they're going to get together and take a look. Remember, it's where the ball is.
The ruling on the field is a fair ball. This play is being challenged by Tennessee. The ruling is under further review.
Yeah, it's where the ball is when it is touched. I probably would have let it go at this point.
Yeah. The glove taps down with the ball in it outside the line, but
That's a fair ball.
yeah.
The one thing I'll say, though, she lets that go with Katie Bennett's speed. That's a double. Like,
Yeah, if it's
it ends
fair.
up fair.
If
yeah,
it's fair,
and it's
correct.
close.
I was thinking more of a back pedal where you could still field it even if it is fair. As a former high school
I love
third
that
baseman.
Beth was doing that in the booth, by the way.
As a former JV third baseman, I thought that was good advice.
While fielding the ball in the World Series. That's all you have to do. And there's a bag behind you, but you jump over it, and then just do that.
We've had some really fast reviews at the World Series, and as many of you know, we've had some that took a little longer.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. Runner is safe. This is Tennessee's first challenge.
I think the key is right there where it's touched.
All right, so base runner in the 9 spot, and here's Ashton Maloney. Runner goes, the throw down and the tag, and sliding in safely is Bennett.
Well, that's a close play at second, and now athletes on the field are calling for a review. Good job by Nugent to get this down. The tag by Dodge.
Speed of Texas continues. 10 stolen base for Katie Bennett.
Oh, I think the tag got her. There is no challenge.
Well, because they just used a challenge.
Yeah.
So do you use 2
right away?
3 pitches?
You only get 2. Late in the game, the umpires can go to review themselves. The tag is going to be on the back. Where are the fingers?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if they would have overturned
close.
it.
I don't know if they would have had the video evidence. So play on. 1-1 to Maloney. Now she'll think about a bunt, and this time they will let it go. An update on the Texas pitching situation, by the way. Still early. Teagan Cavan, just in case. Mac Morgan has been stout through the first 3 innings.
See Sitlali Gutierrez in the background. She's looking a lot more warm. So if anyone were to come in, it would be Sitlali.
Look at Mac's ready to go back out there. She's still got her glove in her hand.
Why not? I mean, she looks the best she's looked all season. Want to mess with that.
I don't know if she does get in trouble. I think it's all score dependent. Sitlali, if it's even or down. Cavan, I think, definitely comes in if there's a lead for Texas on the board.
2-2 to Maloney. And another strikeout. That's number 3 for Pickens, and Texas continues to ride that RISP struggle bus. They're now 1 for 14 at the World Series, and Carlin Pickens, Michelle, has her 300th strikeout of the season.
Yeah, and this one on a screwball. She doesn't throw it a lot, but this is an outstanding pitch on the outer half. It is devastating to lefties. Hard to catch up to that pitch.
So now Texas is in the midst of its 400 hitters at the top of the order. Henry grounded out her first time up.
Texas has a gift here. I mean, they got their leadoff better. Their 9-hole, Katie Bennett on base. She steals second. So essentially, runner at second, nobody out. If they don't score a run, and I know it's early, it's the 3rd inning, but this is when Texas has to be able to capitalize. This is the part of their order where they get the production done.
Yeah, and that's why Maloney's strikeout, non-productive out. It keeps, unfortunately, Bennett for Texas at second.
Ground ball deep at 3rd, and Henry able to leg it out. And now a big chance for Scott and Atwood with 2 aboard.
Kaden Henry is so fast. I mean, and I get Taylor Pamela has to go out and get this. I think that foul, fair ball, it just allowed her to kind of stay too far back. She needs to be up more because Henry, you got no chance. Getting down the line.
And both hits this inning on 0-2 pitches. This is where Pickens needs to expand the strike zone. 0-2, those are too close. Or for the speed to get down the line, put it in play.
So here we go, Scott and Atwood for Texas. Mia with a hit in 9 straight games. Popped up to 3rd her first time up.
Taken all the way. Mia Scott, such a threat at the plate because she can get beat with her body, but still get bat on ball because her hands are so quick.
Has had some success against Pickens this year.
And almost not biting at anything hard, right? That pitch she took on the outer half, 72 miles an hour, as you said, taking all the way. I wonder if she's sitting looking for something just a little bit slower.
Told us this week she loves the off speed.
Yeah.
Doesn't get one there. Pickens misses high.
3-1 count for Pickens. This is a big one with Reese Atwood sitting on deck.
Scott, top 5 all time at Texas. Hits, stolen bases, runs, batting average. One of their best to ever put on the Union. She draws the walk, and the bases are loaded for Atwood, who continues her quest for her first hit of the World Series. 0 for 6 so far. Reese Atwood was her hero. Can she be Texas's hero right now?
0 for 6 with 3 Ks. All 3 of her strikeouts coming on the rise ball. That is a pitch that Pickens is going to attack.
Wow, look at her with the bases loaded this year. Not bad.
If I'm Reese Atwood, I mean, she'll get low in that stance, but even more so now, I think, to be able to really think about trying to get on top of that rise ball or take it. That is a pitch she struggled with here in Oklahoma City.
8 trips to the World Series. They have never hit a grand slam.
She wants to hit it.
She wants to be the first.
To me, it's her versus the Pickens rise. That is the pitch that she's going to see. She'll see some others, but she knows that's the one that's coming. Will she swing at it? Will she take it? And will she be able to adjust to it?
0-1 from Pickens. Inside. Jocelyn Allo, the last one to do it for Oklahoma in 2022.
There it is. Oh, I feel for her right now because she was waiting for that pitch. She wanted that pitch and she got it. But it just shows you how good Pickens is.
Struck her out with a rise ball the first time up.
Made an adjustment on that. The pitch she swung through, rise ball with 6 inches of vertical break. That last one she fouled off. 8 inches of vertical lift or break on it.
She's moving it. Bennett at third, Henry at second, Scott at first. In a scoreless game, national semifinals. Swing and a miss. And Pickens wins her first 2 showdowns as she gets Reese with the change.
Well, this is all about making sure that you're working from ahead, and she does that. Immediately she gets the foul off on the rise ball in the outer half. Then she's going to do a good job of going on the inner half, gets Atwood to swing through a rise ball, foul off a rise ball, and then it's that 65-mile-an-hour changeup.
Good bounce right there for Tennessee with Jolie Mitchell now coming up. Grounded to short back in the second inning. Swinging one of the hottest bats in the tournament.
Ball.
2-0. And now 3-0.
Pickens wanted that. Called low, but on a 2-0 pitch. Drop ball.
Gotta bring it here. And gotta bring it again. Full count.
Wow, 2 big pitches.
She must have been taken all the way. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to see a pitch like that from Pickens.
My goodness.
Middle.
And now Pickens has a little wiggle room. (3-2), bases loaded. Mitchell pops it up. It will stay in play, and the catch is made by Boo Gibson. 2 chances for Texas with the heart of their order at the plate. And Pickens slams the door, and they leave them loaded.
Carter Jordan Pickens. We talk about her strikeout, but it's been the defense really helping out Pickens, the emotion. This Tennessee team picking up the bats, ready to try to do damage for Pickens.
Room, and it looks like she had something specific on her mind. Nope.
And sometimes you're shaking not just the pitch, you're also shaking the location. And she came back in underneath the hands with the rise ball.
I love that. That's what she wanted to give me, the rise. And that's been her best pitch. That's what she grew up with. We talk a lot about her drop-off speed. But that is the pitch. That's her moneymaker, and it gets her out of a huge inning against Texas.
Got 2 outs with the bases loaded, including that pop-up to Jolie Mitchell. And we remain scoreless heading to the 4th. Tennessee's got to win and then win again later. Texas needs just 1 victory to advance to the national championship. And the best 2 out of 3 series will start on Wednesday night. Other side of the bracket is Texas Tech, Oklahoma. They play tonight with Tech needing just 1 win. 4, 5, and 6 here for the Lady Vols.
Mac Morgan's going to get the calls too at the knees. You heard Karen Weekly, we need to see it above the knees. Well, if the call's at the knees, now you're 0-2. You got to protect down, which puts you into the hands of Morgan's drop.
This is such a white-hot spotlight. This is such a pressure cooker here at the World Series, and things can go a couple of different ways. You can fade under that, or you can rise to the occasion like Mac Morgan has done so far today and induces another ground ball out.
Well, you know what you're going to get with Mac Morgan. It is that drop ball. It has the ability to just dive off the ground. Look at that, 70 miles an hour. The key, though, for Morgan has been her ability to locate on the corners. Look at the break, the vertical break on that pitch, as well as a little bit of run. And getting those pitches on the outer half, the swing and miss. Not known a lot for it this season, rolling a lot of ground balls, but 3 big strikeouts here in today's game.
Started out at Arizona State for a year, transferred to Texas, now in her 3rd season. And a big moment today for Mac Morgan. And here she is facing Boo Gibson. Boo was an absolute terror to the Longhorns in their regular season matchup. In the Lady Vols' 2 wins, Boo had both game-winning hits.
These Tennessee hitters have proven to be so good middle away. So you see Mac Morgan really trying to get it on the hands, both sides of the plate. And if she goes away, really tries to stay down.
And another strikeout, and Mac Morgan has tied her season high. That's number 4.
Well, and you know what? It's not just about executing the pitch. It's also pitch calling that's so important. Look at the setup pitch on this. This is up and in. You're pushing off Boo Gibson. Now look at the strikeout pitch. Drop ball, outer half. Drop ball, hammering in the lower half of the zone, getting the strikeout looking. That is just great sequencing by Texas right now, and execution by Mac Morgan.
And a warning to the Tennessee dugout. That is Craig Snyder, who came out of the dugout, and I believe there has been an ejection on the Tennessee side for arguing balls and strikes. And I think Craig Snyder is going to have to go.
And he's been ejected. Karen Weekly alluded to it with Holly Rowe about the frustration from their hitters, and that last pitch that was called, it was a strike, but it's that at the knees pitch that's giving frustration to these Tennessee hitters.
That is the Tennessee hitting coach ejected from this game. We checked with our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell. He would only be gone for this game. If they play a second game today, Snyder could come back to the dugout.
Well, at some point, you have to make an adjustment as a hitter, right?
Yeah.
If the lower half of the zone is getting called, move up a little bit. You just have to make, it's not like she's going to throw you rise balls and a ton of curve balls. I mean, her primary pitch is a drop ball. Move up and meet it before it breaks.
All the strikeouts on the drop ball today. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and now 1 here in the fourth. And it's lethal Laura Mueller coming up. Singled back in the second inning. And in this NCAA tournament has been phenomenal. Had the game winner in extra innings yesterday, had a grand slam in the regionals, and she draws the walk here with 2 outs. And now Patty Ruth Taylor out to talk with her starting pitcher, Mac Morgan, and it's the freshman, Cambria Salmon, who now trots out to the bullpen. So that would be the other 3 pitchers, all with a stint out there. And it looks like Kavan is taking a pause. Hey, don't forget the Women's College World Series Champ Series begins on Wednesday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships. So game 1 on Wednesday night. Thursday in Oklahoma City is going to be absolute bedlam because the game 1 of the NBA Finals will start downtown. And right here at Devon Park, we'll have game 2 of our Champ Series. Game 3, if necessary, would be Friday night. Here's Alana Leach. Will the ejection prove costly at all for Tennessee? Their hitting coach, Craig Snyder, out. Arguing balls and strikes earlier this inning.
He's a huge voice for them. I mean, they make adjustments in game just as good as any team.
And that one is in play, and Mitchell will scoop it up and make the tag to record the 3rd out of the inning. To the bottom of the 4th, and Holly will chat with Mike White on the other side. Thank you very much, Holly. And Tegan Kavan looking on, 2-0. Had both starts prior to today's game for Texas. And Mac, I love it. Still got the glove on, front row with her teammates. Put me in, coach.
It's interesting. You always hear, players, they want to be on the dirt. Maybe you don't get your opportunities, but you got to work hard while you wait, and so that you're ready when the opportunity does present itself.
There's Katie Stewart, 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Mental health has become such a big part of the game, and we talk about this a lot. I mean, it is a different breed of cat that wants to play on this stage. You want to go big time D1, yeah, you can be the hero, but you can also be the GOAT. That's the pact you make, playing for these 2 programs and playing for power leagues around the country. We see a lot of players transfer up to test themselves against the best and to try and have moments like today. Katie Stewart, did she get enough of it? Back to the track and at the base of the fence, and it goes over. Alana Leach ran out of room. And Stewart sends one out to give Texas the lead.
Well, when Mike White was looking to make a decision, this is what he's looking at. It's not so much can Mac Morgan stay in this game. He's like, I need some runs from Texas to put Kavan in this game. Katie Stewart gives him that. I think 667 here at the Women's College World Series. And this is getting towards the bottom of the order, which has been a huge part of the production. We talked about Jolie Mitchell. Katie Stewart getting a rise ball again against Pickens. Another rise ball that she's given up. And this ball almost could have been caught. Leach didn't jump, but she ran out of room. She called for it.
It just kept traveling, Jess. You got to be there and then jump.
Yes.
Oh,
Wait, it looked like she had a beat on it while she was still on the grass, and then it just kept going.
Well, there's a little bit of wind blowing out, and it just enough, that ball was hit high enough that it was going to continue to travel. And you can see it just enough to keep that that ball going.
Savia Morgan has gotten a lot more starts out there in left field. Leach, her 12th start of the season. She's been swinging a good bat and playing good defense of late for Tennessee. As Katie Stewart goes deep, 1-0. Her 17th of the season now, 78 RBI.
Well, and Jess, you know, it's communication between the center fielder, left fielder. You've got room, time it. That communication is imperative as that ball is coming down.
And a strikeout there for Pickens. Her 5th.
Pickens goes back upstairs with that rise ball, 70 miles an hour. This one a little bit more vertical break on it. 8 inches, gets good to swing underneath of it. 5th strikeout of the game.
Here's Adea Wallace. So Katie Stewart hit the home run against Florida in their opener, and now another one today. She was on the All-World Series team last year, hit a home run as well here in Oklahoma City.
Well, it's interesting because Jolie Mitchell and Katie Stewart are kind of friendly competitive with their home runs. And Jolie Mitchell had those 2 home runs earlier in the World Series and jumped one home run ahead of her to 17. Well, guess what? Stewart just tied her with her 17th.
they flip in the lineup all the time.
Yeah.
Always back to back. How about the response, though, from Carlin Pickens? I mean, she gives up that home run. Comes right back. 2 big strikeouts in response.
Is that a foul tip?
Ooh. At home, they said foul tip.
Oh, the umpire says foul tip.
Yeah.
Number 6, either way.
I don't think it was, though.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It
looked like air between her bat and the ball.
Yeah, I didn't see any redirection of the ball.
That's what Mike White was arguing.
This is...
Oh, yeah, there was. I could see it at the very top of the bat. A little bit of redirection. It's a good call.
Okay, so we'll find out, too, with Katie Bennett coming up 2 down, whether Mike White will pull the trigger and go to Tegan Cavan. We just saw her sitting down a second ago. Now she's re-warming up. Could see her come out and try to end this today with 1 game.
He wanted the lead. That's the biggest difference. If this game stays 0-0, he sticks with Mac. He wanted the lead to be able to put Cavan in.
Yeah, if it's 0-0, I think he goes to sit Lally. You have the lead. You've got your ace. You've got to use her to protect it. You need 9 more outs.
Bennett singled, stole a base back in the 3rd when Texas left the base loaded. And after the home run, Pickens threatening to strike out 3 straight.
Six home runs that she's given up here in Oklahoma City. It's more than she gave up all year long. All have come on that rise ball.
Wow.
think there's two things that play into that. I mean, obviously it's the rise ball, but it's a great pitch for her. It's also the level of competition, the hitters that are here, and honestly the fatigue.
75th pitch of the game, and she will strike out 3 in a row. But Katie Stewart did the damage first.
We talk a lot about the speed, but also the power for this Texas offense. You see the home run ball going to the Stewart family. They got a whole bunch of those. 17 on the year for the sophomore. Katie Stewart goes upstairs to meet Pickens. Hit this one out. Horns up 1-0. Head in the top of the 5th inning.
And Texas will make the change and bring on their ace, Tegan Cavan. Outstanding performance from Mac Morgan through 4. And now Cavan with 9 outs to get for a spot in the national championship. 14 innings of work and the zeros next to that ERA. She had 8 strikeouts in the win over Oklahoma a couple of days ago. Emma Clark 8-9-1 for Tennessee as they fall behind 1-0 after the Katie Stewart home run. Clark grounded to short her first time up. And Tegan Cavan 26-5. And going back to work in what has been an extremely emotional week for her and her family. Playing in her 2nd World Series with back-to-back 20-win campaigns. Hit a rough patch the last month of the season and now has been money showing up here in OKC.
I think the changing point for her was last weekend in Super Regionals, coming in relief after struggling against Clemson, losing that game 1. Then she came out of the pen. And since then, it's been the best stuff. She's been dialed in.
And the walk there. Holly?
Tegan Cavan found out the morning before her last game 2 days ago that her grandmother had passed away. Her 96-year-old grandmother, Jo Lukart, is one of her greatest inspirations. There she is with the entire team at a no-hitter earlier this season against Missouri. She was 96 years old and still taping her games, calling her after her games. In fact, Tegan Cavan wears number 17 because Grandma Minnie was born on November 17th, 1928. And she wears that because softball is her favorite part of the day. She wants to honor her and her love for the game. So it was hard to know that Grandma had passed that morning, but she wanted to pitch and she wanted to be there for her teammates. Her teammates were very emotional after the game because they were all close with Grandma Minnie. And really just a remarkable performance, a lot of heart. And it really almost broke me up and made me cry when she said after the game, I know she was watching from the best seat in the house today.
Yeah, it was quite a moment post-game. A big bear hug with Reese Atwood and then the team gathering around, pouring out all the emotions. And after the walk to Clark down here at the bottom of the order, Fiedler thinking about dropping down a bunt. Amanda Allen is the pinch runner over at first base, the tying run aboard. Got 3 hits off of Mac Morgan through 4 innings, and now Cavan stepping in. Fiedler, line drive out to center field, back in the 3rd inning.
Corners, you see Mia Scott right there. She ends up about 3 feet from Fiedler. They are pulled in, but as soon as they see that show of bunt, they are running in hard. If Fiedler's thinking about bunting, she's going to have to keep it away from Mia Scott.
Yeah, she's going to have to push it past her.
She is.
Takes a strike there, and now a 2-strike count.
Almost turn a double play with where she's playing her.
Now with 2 strikes, she'll probably be a little bit further back.
Ground ball to second. Bennett to good, over to first. They'll get the lead runner. 1 down to the top of the order.
Let's take a look at the way Tegan Cavan will attack hitter. She's got a really good changeup at 59 miles an hour. How about needle threading locations and control at 71? The rise ball at the top of the zone. But those 8 strikeouts against Oklahoma, it was a mix of rise ball, off speeds. 2 of those strikeouts looking all about control, keeping that ball out of the white or the heart of the plate.
Tennessee, can they take advantage? First time today they have had a leadoff on base. Gabby Leach is 0 for 2. Has a hit in all 3 of their games here so far. 2 for 5 against UCLA yesterday.
Wow. 58 miles an hour on the changeup, and you're gearing up. You know, we see Pickens on the other side with the velo, but Cavan does such a great job as well of hitting her spots and the velocity, and then 58 coming to the bottom of the zone. That's why you get the big sword swing and miss.
Karen Weekly trying to loosen her up a little bit after misfiring on that off speed. Saturday against Oklahoma, the monumental win. Will that be a program changer for Texas? The first time they've beaten Oklahoma at the World Series, a team that has knocked them out, playing for the national championship twice in the last 3 years. Texas finally breaks through. The Sooners still alive on the other side of the bracket. There's a chance they could meet up again in the finals. We have never had a rematch in the Champ Series era the last 20 years. Leach dropped in foul territory. Dad's gone back to the dual Leach jersey. Gabby on one side, Alana on the other. Can't sit still in a seat, so he's parked on the concourse. The 1-2. Got her. Good with the change, 2 down.
And she slows this one down a little bit more. 57 miles an hour with 5 inches of vertical break. And how about 9 inches of run on this as well? So it's going to move down, it's going to move away. And Leach is going to offer at it as she pulls and steps over. Just cannot get that bat back. Big strikeout for Cavan.
Panel, fly ball out to right. And Tennessee now 0 for 8 today with a runner on base. They trail by 1. For the Women's College World Series, semifinals coming your way today. Texas 1 win away from a spot in the finals. Tennessee needs to win twice today. It's a Katie Stewart home run that is the difference right now. And I'm Beth Mullins. She's Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. Texas will try and shut this thing down, Smitty, with their ace now in the game, Tegan Cavan.
Yeah, Tegan Cavan, she's going to throw that rise ball changeup, but opportunity still for Tennessee to try to do some damage.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is they've got to be able to not just like get their runners on base, but being able to adjust, especially when they get behind the count. You can tell already the ejection from Craig Snyder. The strike zone has been a factor, but now starting to be aggressive in the zone. When they score runs, that's what they do.
Carlin Pickens trying to keep this thing close for Tennessee. Give their bats a chance. They still have 6 outs to work with to try and extend their season. Ashton Maloney and the top of the order now for Texas. Comes around for the 3rd time to see Pickens. Comes down and in.
That's a great pitch inside to lefties.
Ashton with a hit in the Oklahoma game the other day. Got her to 90 on the season. So only Ashton and Janae Jefferson are members of the 90 hit club in a single season for Texas. Janae will be spending her summer with the Team USA at the World Games. As we continue to build towards the Los Angeles Olympics, which will be played here in OKC with Patty Gasso, the new national team coach.
Exciting time for softball. AUSL launching this weekend. Athletes Unlimited, all the professional, college, Olympics.
What do you think tonight? Kennedy against that vaunted Sooners lineup.
Kennedy with that velocity, but again, the changeup, I think that's the knee buckler. If she can throw the changeup for a strike, I think she can take the power away from Oklahoma. The question is, Oklahoma, do they make adjustments? And if they go 2 games, I think that's advantage Oklahoma.
The Sooner Magic.
Yeah.
Strike out there for Pickens, 1 down.
I'm so excited for that matchup. This Kennedy versus those bats. You take a look. Pickens continuing to go upstairs with that rise ball. And this is what I love from Carlin. I mean, she is such a competitor. The pitch that she's given up, the biggest hits here, she also continues to fight back with.
2 down. And here's Mia Scott.
Well, Pickens is a strikeout pitcher. I mean, really has been pretty efficient in this game. She's in the low 80s here in the 5th inning. A lot of times power pitchers strike out to just rack up your pitch count, but she's been pitching from ahead, doing a good job.
And look at this offense she's up against. I mean, yeah, she's given up 1 run, a solo shot. That's a win for most pitchers. Her offense has to have her back.
Well, at this level, you can't really expect your pitcher to throw a shutout. If you do, that's like a massive accomplishment. So it's at least putting 1, 2, 3 runs up on the board to give your pitcher some sort of a buffer. Talked about Olympics. Carlin Pickens has aspirations of playing for Team USA, playing professionally, playing beyond the college game. And I think she needs to continue to develop pitches. She has to slow her changeup down, absolutely. I think that's the difference between like a Nigeri Kennedy, is that there's a lot more vertical separation, but velocity separation between her hard and her soft.
Expect to see her tonight, possibly against Sam Landry. And a ground ball to second. We head to the 6th. Tennessee's down 1. Maybe the last chance for their big boppers in the heart of the order. Dodge, Nugent, Boo coming up.
I told you about the resilience of Tegan Cavan pitching through the loss of her grandmother in her last start, but it was for the whole team feeling something very deep and personal.
It's not easy, obviously, but I think what helped me is, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and I think it put into perspective. I'm just chucking a yellow ball, and people are running and turning left, and so I just wanted to have fun.
Today was just for Tegan, it was for her family, and it was a whole lot of love on the field today. It was just a different meaning.
She told us, and the first thing she said was that she's good and she's ready to go today. So Tegan Cavan's my hero today.
And really, you know, Caden Henry was quite emotional as well, saying she wasn't just her grandma. She was like all of our grandmas. I was Tegan's roommate last year, and it was a big loss for the whole team. So something to fight through in that epic win over Oklahoma.
Yeah, that came a couple of days ago here at the World Series. And now Texas back in the national semifinals today. Cavan on in relief to try and pitch them into the championship series, protecting a 1-0 lead. 6 outs away, but here come the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Tennessee. Dodge with a double back in the first. Nugent and Gibson both hit home runs in their win over Florida on Friday night.
Ella Dodge trying to find something right now. She's had a hard time kind of picking up the ball against Tegan Cavan, tries to go to the drag bunt there.
1 and 6 today against Mac Morgan, and now their first look at Tegan. Called strike 3.
And that's the pitch. That's the difference between Mac Morgan, Tegan Cavan, is the ability to throw multiple pitches down, up, but the mix of speed. 57 miles an hour with a couple of inches of vertical break, horizontal run on it. And that changeup, just knee buckling, bat freezing. Big strikeout for Cavan.
Both of her strikeouts via the changeup. Here's Nugent. Atwood tries to frame. She is such a good leader back behind the dish for Tennessee. Texas
Calls timeouts at the right time. Frames up for her pitcher too, and her and Tegan Cavan are very, very close. And most batteries are. The way that Reese Atwood can just take balls, make them strikes. What stood out to me in that Oklahoma game was her calling timeout in huge moments, not for the coaches, but for her peers.
Well, going out and giving a little bit of talk, like, look, I might lean out, but hammer back in. I mean, all those little nuances.
That's a tall girl, by the way, that can get down. You saw that last strike. I mean, she was like underneath, like her ability to get so athletic behind the plate.
Jumpy like a kangaroo.
Yeah, actually, I think, does she not have a pet?
I believe there is a pet kangaroo lurking around. Holly?
You're talking about the size of Reese Atwood. You know, she is 6'1", but she does get down and low. She watches a lot of film on other catchers, but one of them that reminds me of her physically is Aubrey Monroe from Florida, who's been on the national team. She was a really tall, long, lanky catcher, and so Reese watches film of her of how to do that the very best and does a nice job copying that style.
It's about framing pitches, but it's also about giving a good lane for the umpire to be able to see. And if you're moving, if you're bouncing, lunging toward the ball, you get in the way of the pitch. You block the sight, actually, of the umpire.
Well, she might be able to follow Monroe onto the national team one day. Might be able to follow her as an SEC player winning a national championship, which Aubrey did at Florida. Nugent out to right field. Maloney is there, 2 down. And it's Boo Gibson. They've had some chances, but have yet to get a hit with a base runner on. And the difference in this ball game, the solo homer from Katie Stewart. They've had base runners in each of the first 5 innings. They do not have a hit since the ejection of their hitting coach, Craig Snyder, back in the 4th inning. One to Boo, the senior. Snagged by Cavan. And Texas is 3 outs away from playing for a national championship. So strong in the circle and even stronger at the dish. Katie Stewart sends one over the left field fence. The lone run on the board, and she's coming up next. If it continues the way it's been going, there will be some drama at some point. Here's Reese Atwood. And a ground out to short, 1 away. Is this the last time this season we will see Carlin Pickens in the circle? Tennessee only has 1 at-bat left in the top of the 7th. to try and keep their season going. And with one down, it's Jolie Mitchell. She does retire Atwood all 3 times today. And now Jolie, who's 0 for 2. We've had a couple of extra inning games. We've had 4 walk-offs already at the World Series in 4 days. Tennessee's been involved with a couple of walk-offs and an extra inning.
It's been an interesting 25 World Series. I mean, we've seen a lot of unique plays.
Patty Ruth talking with Tegan Cavan. They will face 6, 7, and 8. It'll start with Laura Mueller, the hero yesterday for Tennessee. Had to walk off single in extra innings. Almost hit Mitchell.
Gets away from Pickens. Looks like she was trying to come underneath the hands with the screwball.
It's also when you know you're confident at the plate. You know, a lot of folks would sit in there and take the hit. Wow, Mitchell wants to swing.
Been swinging a big bat. She's like, I don't want first base. I want to touch them all. I want to touch them all. Well, and these are the big boppers. Atwood, Mitchell, Stewart, lion's share of the home runs. This Texas program. Ooh.
And now the count goes full. Mitchell draws the walk.
Carlin Pickens, we know that she's got velocity, but it's been her rise ball that really has been the one pitch she hasn't been able to keep in the park. Her last 4 home runs given up have been all off the rise ball.
Well, these hitters being able to understand and adjust. I mean, look at this pitch. Look at the spin. I mean, at the top of the zone, these are out of the zone. So you tip your hat to the hitters, but Carlin Pickens, that has been the one vulnerable pitch, even though she's pitched so well. And she goes back to that rise ball to get the strikeouts. Continues to throw that pitch knowing that, hey, it's a 1-0 ball game, but you look at the numbers for her. 4 straight home runs allowed in the rise ball, but she has been very, very good in this game.
You live on it and you die on it a lot of times as a pitcher. It's understanding that. It's understanding how to throw it at multiple levels.
And that's what I love. Go right back. That is your moneymaker. We can talk all day about all her pitches, but it is her rise ball that's been her best pitch.
Katie Stewart follows up her home run with a single to left. And it's 2 aboard for Leanne Good as the Horns look for some insurance.
Katie Stewart just gets around this so strong. That 5-6 hole, you can see Panel over there just hugging the line. Allows for an easy base hit, sneak through. 2 runners on for the Horns.
And that last hit was off a changeup. So I think, you know, we haven't really seen Pickens throw a lot of that here. That was a 65-mile-an-hour pitch on the outer half that she got around. That's the pitch that I think she makes a couple of improvements to. It could be nasty.
She's got Good in an 0-2 hole. Walk to Mitchell. Stewart singles. And gets Good to chase that rise ball again for strikeout number 9. 2 down.
101 pitches on the day, and this one ends in the strikeout of Leanne Good, and giving the nod, understanding that's the pitch. Keep going back to it, especially when you can elevate it and keep it out of the zone.
don't forget, our next WNBA game is tomorrow on ESPN. It's the Wings and the Storm. Coverage tips with the WNBA Countdown crew at 9 o'clock Eastern. Got some hoops headed your way in between our softball games. If Texas holds on to win, they are into the finals. And then the second semifinal comes your way tonight with Oklahoma and Texas Tech, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Victoria Hunter is going to be the pinch hitter here. After Adea Wallace struck out twice in this role. Check swing, panel at third, and she overthrows it. Mitchell comes in to score. Here comes Katie Stewart, and they're going to send Stewart back to third initially here. Mike White's going to argue. But a run is in on the throwing error.
Plenty of time to make this throw. Picks up the ground ball, but just airmails it, gets it past and over the head of Boo Gibson at first base. Easily going to score. Mitchell from second, and Stewart, who started at first, gets 2 bags, so she'll be held at third with that ball going out of play.
Hunter was able to move over to second, but I think they're going to, are they lifting her for a pinch runner? Might be Wallace re-entering, the speedier of the two, and that is the case. And it's 2-0 Texas with 2 on and 2 out. And that is the second infield error of the day on Tennessee.
And they've been clean up to this point. No errors in the World Series until today. We saw a couple of errors in game 1 of the Supers against Nebraska that ended up hurting them. They were able to bounce back from that, however.
Now another pinch hitter, Katie Simmons, in the 9 spot. She's got more pop in her bat than Katie Bennett. Looking for a single to score 2 more. Senior out of Humble, Texas. Had a couple of at-bats in the Oklahoma game. Got a base hit. Ground ball to Gibson, who will win the foot race to first. But another run in, so it's 2-0 Texas with the lead over Tennessee. And it is all Tegan Cavan for the Longhorns, coming on to try and get Texas into the championship series. Track down that first national championship. 2-0 over Tennessee, and Tegan Cavan will try and end it. Their ace coming out of the bullpen today after a stellar start from Mac Morgan and a home run from Katie Stewart has them in position to advance. It's 6, 7, and 8 for Tennessee, trying to extend their season. Oh. Mueller, one of the seniors in the lineup today with Boo Gibson and Kinsey Fiedler.
Ball inside.
2-1. Sophomore out of West Des Moines, Iowa. Has talked to us about how the adversity helps over the long haul. She's been through some this year. Two-two to Mueller. is there with the glove. Love at third. One down.
Mia Scott with the smile. She's usually so stoic. And her defense has been on point this tournament, Jess.
It's been honestly one of the most underrated conversations why Tegan Gavon has been so great. Is knowing what's behind her. Mia Scott, great play. Another one here at the World Series.
Looked like she was about to high-five Karen on the way by. And here's Alana Leach. Couple of ground outs for Leach. Gavon, who had a one-hit shutout last year in the semis to get Texas into the championship series. 3 years ago, it was that stunning semifinal day where they beat Oklahoma State twice to advance, even after trailing by 5 runs in the second game. Rallied to win it and move on to play for a championship. They've seen heartache here too, even a semifinal loss at the hands of Tennessee in 2013. One of the great moments in semifinal history when they lost to UCLA twice on the Caitlin Baney single to score Natasha Watley in 03. And with web gems all over the diamond, they are 1 out away from playing for that championship again.
Left side, best side. Mia Scott with the line drive catch now. Leanne Good. I mean, look at this play. And this is a hard hit ball. Drops the knee down, pops back up, and you're talking a bullet. Down to first base after getting that low, setting herself perfectly. Oh. 2 outs for Tegan Gavon to that left side of the infield.
Last chance for Tennessee is Emma Clark.
How about Tennessee, too? I mean, they've got a great approach at the plate, getting in the counts, really working. Gavon hitting the ball hard. Both those at bats, 70-plus miles an hour off the bat. It's the defense having Gavon's back here late.
How about that? 10 of 10 first pitch strikes. All business today.
Yeah, been on point. And that pitch, the changeup.
1 strike away. Ball just off. Got her. And the Texas Longhorns win the national semifinals, and they will play for a national championship starting on Wednesday. Mac Morgan gets the win. Tegan Gavon the save. Katie Stewart the game-winning home run.
How about the pitching staff for Texas? Mac Morgan with the start, the drop ball heavy, just doing an incredible job. And then Tegan Gavon, 3 strikeouts in her 3 innings, all those strikeouts on the changeup.
And then the defense late. I mean, Mia Scott, that play, Leanne Good. And that's where Texas softball, when they are playing right. Carlin Pickett's a heck of a season. Tennessee, what they did to get to this point. It was a tough, heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma to start this entire World Series, and they fought hard to get to this Monday game.
Heck of a run for the Lady Vols. And a stellar season for Carlin Pickens in Tennessee, and it comes to an end today. And fitting that it's out of the hands of Tegan Cavan, the new saves leader, by the way, now at Texas. But it starts with the tone setter, Mac Morgan, who's with Holly.
Well, Matt, when you entered the circle today, what did the coaches ask of you, and what were you telling yourself in this big moment?
Telling myself just to get the ground balls like I did, and like strikeouts happen, that's fun, but my job is to get ground balls. That's exactly what I did.
Your drop ball is so deadly. They know it's coming, but what makes it so hard to adjust to?
You know, it's just like the different spin on it, throwing at different levels, and like just getting off guard with different locations.
This pitching staff had to come together. Tegan comes in to get the save. How have you built this trust within each other this year?
You know, we're very close-knit as a staff, even outside of softball. I mean, it's just like trusting each other, and we all want the best for each other, even when it's not our turn.
It's the biggest moment of the season, and you were at your best. It was your season high in strikeouts. What does that feel like for you?
You know, it's just good to get out there and compete. I mean, that's all I really want to do, and ever since I was a little kid, I just wanted to compete, and that's living the dream here.
Here you are into the Champ Series. What will it take for you guys to walk away with the national championship?
We just got to stay to us. Everything we do, it's just got to be for us and for each other, and just play every week like we've been playing for each other.
Thank you, Mac. You were brilliant today.
Thank you.
Mac Morgan, outstanding in the circle for the Texas Longhorns. Picks up one of the biggest wins of her career. She is our Capital One rewarding performance.
You talk about getting one of the biggest starts of your life at the Women's College World Series, and Mac Morgan just hammers the zone. How about a season-high 4 strikeouts?